Yeah, Big Ten season. How quickly it arrives in early December. So uh, go up against a very, very good Maryland team. Kevin's doing an outstanding job in his first year. He's really established with a veteran front line an identity very quickly with that group. They're playing extremely hard. They're extremely good on the offensive glass. They play with pace, and yet they're mixing up defenses, full court man, playing some matchup zone. It's a team that is Dante Scott's having a fantastic start to his season. Reese is much improved in the middle. He's kind of changed his body. He's not that little frail, skinny kid that he was as a freshman. Akeem Hart is a guy that 6'7" that's plays on the perimeter. And they've added 2 veteran transfer guards who have fit in quite nicely. So again, an undefeated team, a team that I think can compete for top spot in this league, and they've shown that early.
Is there any element of expect the unexpected because first-year coach and there's less history there?
No, we've got a lot of Kevin Willard film, and TA was in the same league with him as Seton Hall, and he's taken the same game plan. It's just a veteran team. It's an old team, and in terms of having some guys who can score, and Dante and Akeem Hart, and then Reese has been, and then just giving them his footprint and what they're doing on the defensive side. So they've been very effective thus far, and they shoot it well enough. Got Georgetown's leading scorers and great shooter from in the portal. So again, this is a very balanced team and a very effective team, and as all of Kevin's teams are.
Seems like we haven't had to ask you this much because you've been so experienced. But first true road game for 4 of your guys are freshmen. How do you prepare them for that? It's obviously going to be kind of
freshmen.
5 freshmen.
Still counting Dane as a freshman. Today's going to be a pretty animated practice. We'll pump a lot of crowd noise in here. We'll pump a lot of music in here. We've got to get them excited. We've got to get them dealing with some adversity. We try that. We do that a lot. We've got to play better. We've got to play harder. We've got to play tougher. It's huge momentum swings happen in true road games, and we've got to withstand those and try to prevent those.
How's Sincere feeling after the game on
Good.
Tuesday?
Good. He was good in practice yesterday.
As your defense, can you kind of switch over? You're playing a team with front court size. How do you kind of prepare them and get through those stretches you might have on your drive with the team?
I think we've got I think we're in 95th or 96th percentile in post defense at this point. It's not the first team we've seen with size. Virginia was quite big, and Gardner's been outstanding for them as a big power forward, very similar to Dante Scott. Syracuse is long and lanky, and we got to do a better job on blocking out when we get into those switches, and we got to do a better job of gang rebounding. We can't. We got to understand sometimes Coleman's going to be out point guard. He's going to be out on the floor. He's got to come back in and rebound. And Matt and RJ and Terrence, those guys have to go snatch rebounds for us, and we got to continue to grow in that area.
9 rebounds and 8 the last 2 games for Matt. How have you seen him kind of be more aggressive on the glass in that area?
Yeah, he's stepped up to the challenge. He's really, he's been very conscientious. He's always been a good rebounder in his career. He's not afraid to go stick his nose in there. He's not afraid to have contact. He does a great job of finding lanes to go, and then he's got great hands. He's got really strong hands, and when he gets his hands on it, it's his.
You feel like his conditioning's come along? Is that a part of him having more energy?
A lot, and with that, more minutes, and we're going to come. We're going to lean on him. He, like I said, he makes winning plays all the time. He knows what it takes to win. But now his conditioning's getting out there. He's a guy that we've got to lean on here as we get into league play.
Even with the first half foul trouble on Tuesday, how important was it for RJ to maybe follow up, that better effort, better game against Lindenwood with kind of some of the same?
Yeah, it's huge. And RJ's a good player. and the guy that we're counting on. And you know, it's not easy. It's very easy to get lost mentally when you're in foul trouble when you play a couple minutes in the first half. And like I said, I tried to throw him back out there. I didn't want him to get super stiff and kind of out of the game mentally, but he stayed dialed in. He got going. You know, he got to the foul line. He was chasing balls on the glass. So those are things that he's got to do to help us. I was glad to see him. He's been able to do that back-to-back games.
And you were able to look at the film and chart your shots offensively. You said you liked it in real time. You liked it.
Oh,
After.
Terrence took one bad three in transition. And, you know, someone wants to play a zone, we'll shoot 43s. I'm good with it. We shot it about as bad as we could shoot it, and missed opportunities. And like I said, you know, I'm not an excuse maker, but, you know, we've been sick. We had guys not in practice. We were a little out of rhythm, but I thought we handled 7 turnovers against the zone. Coleman was dialed in. I thought Ty Rogers was exquisite in the middle. We just made great decisions and got good shots. And I'm never going to tell guys not to take shots, you know. And you know, there was enough balance of getting the ball in the interior. Coleman's little float game, Ty's little float game are all really good, and we were able to make enough of them.
Decision making against your season.
We passed. You know, that's one thing about the zone. We're an exceptional passing team, and you know, it's like I told our team. I said, you know, you see the zone, it forces you to pass and not over dribble. And you know, we're going to see something completely different in Maryland. You know, Maryland's going to crawl in your shirt, and you're going to have to handle it, be aggressive. That zone forces you to pass the ball and move it. And I think it was on display of how good a passing team that we are. We made the extra pass. Like I said, it was a night the ball didn't go in, but you know, I hope our team learns that moving the ball through the pass is pretty effective, and it doesn't always have to be a dribble drive.
How did Sky sort of absorb or respond to an 0 for 10?
Well, I cut him off. He didn't have a meal last night. I'm not giving him pregame, you know, meal money on this trip. He's going to starve. He was fine. You know, I told him, I said, the great thing about, you know, going 0 for 10 is you got to have the mentality you're going to make the next 10, and then you're 50%. I said, the only thing that I'm going to get mad about is you quit shooting. And, you know, here's a guy who was 50% from 3, 90% from 2 coming in. But the great thing is it didn't affect him. He's diving on the floor for loose balls. He's sharing it. He's running our team. That takes a lot of maturity. And you know, he handled it in a great way. And he and I had a little fun yesterday talking about it. But you know, that's a freshman, and you got to grow up, and you can't let one turn to 2.
It's early, but your block rate is way higher. Your 2-point defense is top 10. Do that without a 7-footer. How has that played out? What have you seen on your team so far to defend inside the arc?
Yeah, you know, I think it's a combination of both. It's not just inside it. I think it's outside it. I think, you know, like I thought we stunted Syracuse's guards. You know, I thought we did a good job of stinging it with our switches. Forces them a little further out on the floor, so those become longer passes, you know, to the post. I think we're getting to the ball. I think you see our length and our athleticism's been in play a little more than maybe we've had in the past. But you know, it's all been positive. We got to go on the road. We got to make sure we don't give up big runs. We got to make sure we don't give up threes. It's one of the things that we've tried very hard to be consistent with in the past. Is, you know, threes become huge momentum plays at home. We got to make sure we're dialed into that and know where their shooters are, and then force hard 2s and try to clean it up.
You talked about Matt just adjusting to a new system after 4 years. He looks more comfortable. It's kind of these games go. Is there anything you guys did to help him settle in, or is it just a progression of minutes?
Yeah, it's a simple progression. You know, I think he's, you know, you know, it's probably obvious I'm a little different than Scott, you know, in some ways, and you get accustomed to that. You get comfortable, and Matt's an unbelievable kid, and I say kid, he's a guy. He's not a kid, but he's got great spirit about him. He's very intelligent. I love being around him, and it's just the progress and process of getting to know us, getting to know what we're about. You know, we do shoot-arounds different. We do terminology different. We got different attacks against this or that, and you know, so his role had been pretty established there, and now it's different. So I'm ecstatic with what he's doing and how he's progressed.
You feel good about throwing multiple knives at Scott? Last few years, God bless his heart, seemed like DeMonte was trying to overcome 4 inches height, 20 pounds difference, and it seemed like you guys can throw more guys at him this year.
Yeah, and I mean, he's having a great year. They're backing him into a lot of post-ups. You know, he's playing on the perimeter. He's shooting threes. I think he had a huge first half here last year. And again, you know, we've had smaller wings. It's been you know, he has been a problem. He's a very, very good player. He's a great competitor. You know, we'll see what it looks like this year, but yeah, we've got to throw different opportunities and different guys. Obviously, with our switching, it's no secret that you know, we'll have guards on him at times, and how we handle that will be a big part of the outcome of the game.
We know last Old Oven kind of popped with the speakers. How does this compare when you're prepared?
We got a whole new sound system, so we can break the glass if we if we need to break the glass. I think the thing is whether I'm in a country mood, a hard rock mood, or a rap mood, and we may have to go combination of all three today, just so that I can create a certain level of annoyance. I may have to throw a little country on just to annoy the fellas and get under their skin a little bit, like it'll happen on the road.
How tough is Maryland when that place is full?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great environment. I've said this many times. It's a 9 o'clock game on a Friday night. I would expect there to be a pretty good level of fuel that's been on the intake from the student body, and that student section on the end is very daunting, and it's a tough place to play. Again, you're talking about one of the most historic programs in college basketball, and many of those years in the ACC. But you know, Mark's done a great job there for many years, and that team's been very successful. And Kevin has you know, taken over a great program and put his footprint on it, and they're doing great. So I would expect a raucous environment tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.